Hello you, we are looking at the Lumetri scope called Vectorscopes. Okay, it's this thing. Okay, it kind of jiggles around. Remember, the trace kind of moves around while we're watching it, and it's trying to show us what colors are in our image, how saturated they are. And we're going to use it to do a little trick where we actually find a bit of white, mask it out, and we can see that this one in particular has a little bit too much green, and we're going to fix it. Thank you, Vectorscopes. All right, to get started, I want you to bring in and start a new sequence with color correction I, and bring it in, and we're going to switch from our Luma waveform, okay, to I don't know sure why everyone says Luma waveform instead of waveform Luma. Anyway, we're going to turn vector scope YUV. There's two different ways. You can look at it this way and look at it this way. Okay, at this vector form, and watch, it kind of moves around. Okay, this is the more common way of working. Okay, so let's turn off those other two. So just tick off the waveform one, just so we've got vector scope YUV all on its own. It'd be really common to have both of these up while you're working, but for the moment, I am going to turn it off. So for this first one, I'm not going to bog you down with what red, magenta, blue, cyan, green. Okay, those are what those dots for. And there's lines in here. We'll cover those a little bit as we go along. For the moment, we're really focusing on the main use, or at least the way that I use it, and a lot of people use the vector scopes for, and it's a great way of seeing white balance. So in the past, what we've done is gone, all right, it's, how this thing here, is there a kind of like a color cast on it? I can kind of see a hint of green, but you might find it hard to see. You're unsure, or it might be that you've got a little bit of color blindness. Okay, and it's a way of actually being able to get in there and see actually what colors are involved here. So you could just go white balance and say, what do you know is white? I know that table's white. You click it, and it's gone and done some adjustments here to the temperature. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an automatic feature. Okay, and it's, do I like it? On, off. It's kind of warmed it up, but maybe it's gone a bit red now. So that thing there is a little bit hit and miss. Okay, so I'm gonna reset it. Weirdly, hit reset there, doesn't work. You've got to kind of up here, just double click anywhere on the line to reset those. So we want to do a bit more manually. We want to take control of this. So what we need to do is scrub through the timeline. Why are we scrubbing through the timeline? Because I want to find something in here that I know is white. I know that that is white because there's a white bit of paper. Now, if you don't have something white in this shot that you can use as a reference, it's harder. You can use something that you know is absolute gray or absolute black, but white's the easiest one to find and get a good result from. So what I need to do is isolate this bit of white, because this thing here is showing me all the colors in the entire image. I want to just see what this white's full of. Okay, so to do that, you need your clip selected. We're going to switch over here to the effects control. I'm going to find opacity. Okay, and I want to use either of these. Okay, I'm going to use, just for giggles, I'm going to use this rectangle one. Okay, it's a little bit hard to use. I'm going to drag the center of it till I get kind of close to where it is, and then kind of adjust the edges here to kind of try and get as much as the book as I can without getting too close to anything else that could influence the color. It's a little bit hard to work, like stitching and pairing. I feel like that's a big chunk. Obviously, the bigger chunk, the better. Now let's switch back to my vector scope, and it's showing me, look, there's way too much yellow in here. Like, is it showing me? No, this thing here. I leave this in here. My one, watch, it's going to change, I bet you. Can you see that? It's happening in Premiere Pro for me. Might only be happening to not everyone. Okay, mine's just not updating. Earlier in the course, I reset it. So, Premiere Pro sometimes had a few little bugs. So mine's now showing me a bit more what I wanted. Okay, so it's showing me this center part here is absolute white. Okay, so it's showing me that actually there's this bit of thing that should be white is all lumped towards green. Okay, so it's a good way to say, like, is there a color cast here? Like, it might, often it's yellow or red because it's come from like incandescent lights, or blue from fluorescent lights. It might be lumped this way or that way, or yellow or green. Mine's got this green cast to it. It's not much, okay, but it's there. So how do we fix it? Now we can go back to our temperature. Okay, you can use anything. You could use our curves, whatever you feel comfortable changing tone with, okay, or hue, but the temperature slider is obviously a pretty good one. So I've got too much green. There's a green slider. and there's a magenta slider. So I'm going to say, you go away. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drag it left and right. Can you see that little thing moving around? Okay, over there on the vector scope, want it bang smack in the middle. Can you see it's kind of just a touch down towards cyan as well? Okay, just a touch. So I'm going to go there. That feels good. And then I'm going to go this way back and forth. So it's just a little okay, to try and get it as white. That's showing me that it should be pretty close to white. Okay, we're going to do the big reveal to see whether we actually made it better. So I'm going to go to my effects controls. We're only using this temporarily. We could delete it. We could select it and hit delete on my keyboard, or I could undo that. And often it's good just to turn the effect off. You can turn it back on later on. Okay, so I've turned it off. I'm going to click off down here to get, I don't want that blue box anywhere. Click on my mask, select my clip. Okay, and now let's turn the Lumetri effect on and off. And it's funny, huh? Like when I pull this out of the box, especially when I made my tutorial, I was like, because I found something that felt like it had a color cast. And now when I come back to record this, I was like, does it even? Is this the fixed one? Okay, you might be different. You might be like, clearly, Daniel, it's clear now that I turn it on and off, but instantly when I open it, sometimes you're like, is that fine? Something's wrong, what's wrong? And that's why, you know, for other reasons as well, people use things like this. They use these like clapper boards, okay, because there's a very clear white and black in there, so it's easy to do. So if you're shooting a scene that the lighting is really, you know, dull or dim, or there's nothing white in it, at least you've got something clear that's in the scene that is 100% white. Okay, or I use something like this. I don't need a clapper board at home, okay, for my stuff. So I use something like this. Okay, it's called a video color checker. Okay, and I'll cover a little bit of that later on. But it's a great way of saying, look, there's complete white, and you kind of throw it in there at the beginning. But so many times I forget to do it, and I have to find something white that is in there. Actually, I'll show you real quick. I'm kind of jumping ahead in the course, but I've already introduced it. So I've got this bit of footage in here. It's not in your exercise files, at least not yet. Can you see me holding up this? You can see, look, there's a little white bar and a gray bar and a black bar and some color ones as well. It's handy to start your shots, waving that thing around. We'll do it later on, but you can see it's a nice clear bit of white. If you don't have one of these cards, you don't need one, grab a bit of white bit of paper, hold that up. Okay, wave it around so you get a nice kind of specific bit of white to work from. And then use our little vector scope trick to kind of get the color balance and the temperature nice. All right, on to the next video.